Special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this video possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Scared12 here, bringing you another Minecraft World War II map to build tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building USS Laffey DD-459. USS Laffey was a Benson-Class destroyer of the United States Navy during World War II. She was the first destroyer named for Bartlett Laffey. Laffey was laid down on January 13, 1941 by the Bethenheim Shipbuilding Company, San Francisco, California. Launched on October 30th, 1941 and sponsored by Miss Eleanor G. Forgery, granddaughter of Seaman Laffey, and commissioned on March 31st, 1942. Lieutenant Commander William E. Hank in command, she was lost in action on November 13th, 1942. On November 13th of 1942, Laffey was placed in a van of column of 8 destroyers and 5 cruisers under Admiral Daniel J. Cullihan. Early in the mid-watch, the radar operator reported contact with the enemy. The naval battle of Guadalcanal was just about to begin when the Japanese force, a group of 2 battleships, 1 cruiser, and 14 destroyers under Vice Admiral Hiroki Abe appeared on the horizon. Laffey lashed out at the enemy with gunfire and torpedoes. At the height of the violent battle, the battleship Cayde came through the darkness, and both ships headed at full speed for the same spot. They missed colliding by 20 feet, or about 10 meters. Laffey unleashed her torpedoes and, using all of her firepower, raked the battleship's bridge, wounding Admiral Abe and killing his chief of staff. Admiral Abe was thereafter limiting his ability to direct his ships for the rest of the battle. With the battleship on her stern, a second on her port beam, and 2 destroyers on her port bow, Laffey fought the Japanese ships with the 3 remaining main battery guns in a no-quarter duel at point-blank range. She was hit by a 14-inch shell from Cayde. Then a torpedo in her fantail put Laffey out of action, and so the order to abandon ship had passed. A violent explosion ripped the destroyer apart and sank immediately with a heavy loss of life. This earned her the Presidential Unit Citation. So yeah, the USS Laffey here, a very kind of sad story of a ship, but also a very heroic action. Went into basically the Lion's Den, going up a small destroyer going against 2 battleships and a couple other destroyers. Definitely outgunned and outclassed, but she fought valiantly and actually almost killed the fleet admiral of the entire task force. The actions at Guadalcanal, or the naval battle of Guadalcanal, helped stop the Japanese from reinforcing the islands and actually helped contribute to the American victory. And the Laffey here is obviously no small part of that engagement and that sacrifice to protect the troops on Guadalcanal and ensure a victory for the United States. So very historic ship, and I thought it's definitely a good ship to kind of do a tutorial on, to kind of honor her legacy and her crew and what they did in the Battle of Guadalcanal. Before we go ahead and move in and take a look at this build, I do want to go ahead and give a special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more you already do, feel free to check out my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions, where you can go and put a small amount to my channel every month, and in doing so earn a vehicle request of your choosing. It really helps support the work I do on my channel. It's really greatly appreciated, so definitely feel free to check that out. Again, link for that is always in my video descriptions. With that though, let's go ahead and dive in here to take a look at USS Laffey. So this here is not to be confused with the Owen M. Sumner class. Laffey, they did rename a destroyer, or they named the destroyer later on, a Laffey, or USS Laffey, in kind of honoring of this ship and its actions. It is actually a museum ship and is actually available to be viewed in South Carolina, if I'm not too mistaken. But yeah, really cool, to see that legacy kind of continue with that name. But basically we have the ship here. It's done up in kind of the classic Benson-Class destroyer kind of color scheme with this kind of bluish line underneath here. I'm not 100% sure if this is what Laffey supported during the time of her sinking, but I went ahead and included it anyway because I thought it was pretty cool. We have the bow of the ship here. Obviously, it's 2 forward 5-inch guns. Its bridge has a very kind of tall bridge for the destroyer, kind of a shorter destroyer. But looks pretty nice. Got some anti-aircraft gun weaponry here. Some boats on both sides here, again very reminiscent of most of the American destroyers. We got the 2 funnels, obviously the forward mast. We have the torpedo launcher here, and we have again some more just like spotlights and just random stuff like this. Going back, we have the rear mast. Then we have our 2 5-inch guns, and we also have our depth charge launchers on the sides here, as well as our kind of mounted Bofors anti-aircraft guns. And then we also have our depth charges here on the back. So overall, pretty cool looking ship. It should make a really nice one to add into your BAFTA build fleets as a nice kind of destroyer escort for a lot of our heavier ships that we tend to focus on. Without further ado, let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer, layer number 1. Alright guys, so moved into our first layer here, we will be going ahead and start with layer number 1. Now, for layer 1 here, we're going to be going ahead and basically building our draft. So the red section, the entire section is going to be underwater. This section here will need to be set up at a certain height. You'll want to make sure that your layer 1 here is basically in line with the water level. So you can see the blue concrete here representing our top layer of water, and you can see where that red block kind of corresponds to that. So it should look like this, and once you have that kind of set up and good to go, we can go ahead and continue on. We're going to start off by going ahead and placing down a brick wall and a red stained glass pane going forward from that block. We're going to go ahead and then place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 red concrete blocks back from that first one. Then we want to place down a total of 2 brick top slabs, so 1, 2, and then, 2, and then 2 acacia wood trapdoors, and then a brick wall here on the very end. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and place down a red stained glass pane that's going to come off the side of this block here, and we're going to go and then go forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 glass panes forward, and then an acacia wood trapdoor. We're going to go do the same thing over here to the other side. After that is all complete, we then have our props to do. For our props here, we're going to be going ahead and using lightning rods. We're going to place down a lightning rod like this, and then when going back from that, we're going to then place down a acacia wood fence gate like this, open it toward the trapdoor there, and then a skeleton skull here on the very end. We're going to do the same thing over here. So just like this. And that right there is going to go ahead and basically make everything we have here for layer 1. Pretty simple, straightforward layer. Again, this is what it'll look like from the top-down view. With that all done though, that's going to wrap up layer 1, and with that, let's move on to layer number 2. Moving on to our next layer, we move on to layer number 2. For layer 2 to begin with, we're going to place down polished black stone wall on top of this glass pane here, and then we're going to go ahead and place down a blue concrete block back, a polished deep slate full block here, and then we're going to place down a dark oak wood trapdoor on both sides of that block. So just like this. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and take our blue concrete. We're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then we're going to go ahead and place down our polished deep slate full block. Then we're going to go ahead and go back 1, 2, 3, blue concrete, 2 more polished deep slate full blocks, and then 2 more blue concrete to bring us to the stern of the ship. We'll then go to the sides. We're going to take our blue stained glass pane, starting on the rear here. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And over here, same thing. We're going to run our line of blue stained glass panes all the way along the side here. Then on the very back, we're just going to place down a polished black stone button. And once you have that all done right there, that is going to wrap up the main structure there. We'll also go to the front blue concrete block. We're going to place down an item frame to both sides of that, as well as a crossbow in the item frame rotated to face downwards, like so. And that right there will basically make your front anchor. And with that, that's going to wrap up everything we have for layer 2. And we'll move on to layer number 3. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 3. For layer 3 to start with, we're going to place down a stone stair on the forward polished black stone wall, and then a stone slab back from it. On both sides of the stone slab, we're going to place down a skeleton skull, and also we're going to place down an iron bar on top of this stone stair like that. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone brick wall here, and we're going to go ahead and go forward from the stone brick wall with a end rod like that going forward. We'll then take our skeleton skulls, and we're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3 on the side here, and same thing over here, 1, 2, 3, like that. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone full block here. And then we're going to go place down a second, third, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stone full blocks back. After that is complete, we want to go ahead and then place down a birchwood fence gate that is going to sit like so. And same thing over here. Then we're going to place down a skeleton skull to both sides. After that skeleton skull, we're going to place down a white bed to both sides. We're going to go then place down an end rod. Then after the end rod, we're going to place down 2 item frames. And in those item frames, we're going to place down white beds rotated sideways. After that, if you're on Java, we can also go ahead and take a birchwood sign, and we can place on the side here of the stone blocks as well as the item frames to go ahead and kind of create this cool design here. Again, that's only going to be for Java. If you're not on Java, you will not be able to do this feature. And then we're going to go ahead and place down an iron trapdoor here to both sides, though we do want it to stay closed. So for this, if you are on Java, we're going to type in the command /give @p, and we'll type in debug, and it should kind of autofill here, give the option to. Press tab, and you'll have this command here, give @p Minecraft :debug _stick. Pressing enter will give you this glowing stick, and you can go ahead and left click the trapdoor until we get selected open false, right click it to set it to true, and it'll close along the side there like so. You can use a birchwood trapdoor also as an alternative if you do not have access to the debug stick. We're going to go then place down an iron trapdoor right here in this section. Then we're going to place down 1, 2, and 3 stone full blocks. We then want to place down a wither skeleton skull, then a birchwood fence gate, which will open toward the middle there, and then another wither skeleton skull. After that, we're going to do the same thing over here. Wither skeleton skull, fence gate, and a wither skeleton skull. Then we're going to place down another wither skeleton skull here. Same thing here. And then a stone brick wall like that. We're going to go and then go off the stone brick wall with a end rod. And then we're going to go ahead and place down 2 more wither skeleton skulls here on these glass panes to the sides. In the very center there, we're going to place down a redstone repeater. Separate the notches from each other like so. A end rod. And then we're going to go and go up from the end rod with a iron bar like that at a slight angle for the rear kind of mass there. Or not really mass, but pull. After we have that all done, that's pretty much it for the main kind of thing for this layer. If you are on Java, we can do a few quality life things, and that's going to go ahead and edit the properties here of this stone brick wall. So what we can do here is we can actually go ahead and lift the rear of this wall so it connects up to the block kind of at a full height, and then the forward section we can kind of have down like that. So it's basically the kind of helps create that 5-inch gun casemate a little bit better. And we're going to go ahead and obviously do the same thing back here. It's just going to be opposite. Now your directions here may vary depending on obviously the orientation of your ship, so just keep that in mind. Your directions may be a little bit different, but you want the end of the wall that's facing toward the end rod to be kind of lower, and then you want the back of it to be taller. So just keep that in mind going forward with that. But that right there is it for layer number 3, and with that we'll be going ahead and moving on to layer number 4. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 4. For layer 4 to begin with, we're going to place down a stone brick wall that's going to go on top of this block right here, and then we're going to place down an end rod forward from it. Just note that your wall may get messed up here. If that's the case, you'll probably just have to go ahead and make sure that it sticks up again, and then the side again closest to that block right there is also brought up as well. We're going to go then place down a stone stair behind this wall like so, and we'll do the same technique that we used before on this wall, just, you know, like that on that stair. Then we're going to place down an item frame on each one of these fence gates. And if you are on Java, again, we can go ahead and add basically an extra detail here within lever to kind of represent an anti-aircraft gun position. So place down our lever like this. We'll left click it till we get selected face wall. We'll right click that, set that to floor, and then we want to go and then left click again until we get selected facing, and we're going to go and then point these out into the directions toward the outside, again for those anti-aircraft guns. Then we want to place down a stone full block here, and then a stone upside down stair directly behind it. On the sides of the stone full block and upside down stair, we're going to place down 2 skeleton skulls to the sides, as well as a daylight detector turned to night mode here in the center, and then we're going to go ahead and place down a andesite wall right here, which will be the start of our funnel. Now we're going to then go to the sides here of the tops of the end rods, and we're going to place down a lever like this above them. We're going to go and then left click these until we get selected face wall. Right click this, set this to floor, and then we want to go and then rotate these to go ahead and point toward the front of the ship. We'll then place down a chain coming off the levers just like that going forward. After that's all done, we then want to go and place down a gray bed that's going to be located here again for our torpedo launcher, followed by an andesite wall. And then we're going to then place down a birchwood fence gate here, which will open up toward the funnel there. A item frame on both sides of the fence gate, as well as a snowball in the item frames. Then we're going to place down a cobweb on top of this stone block here. Then we'll grab ourselves a end rod. We're going to place down an end rod here, followed by a stone brick slab that's going to be on the 2 fence gates, like that out to the sides there. And again, for our Java players, we can go ahead and kind of build a block out to the side here. So like that, leaving a space of 1 between that block and the slab. We'll go ahead and then place down a tripwire hook. And then we're going to then left click this. And we're going to go ahead and change the facing of it so it comes off the side here of the stone brick walls. So just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and place down another stone brick wall here, end rod coming off of it. Again, we'll use our same techniques that we used with the debug stick before to go ahead and modify the properties here of the walls. So just like that. And we have our rear gun set up and good to go. And once we have that all done right there, that is going to be everything we have there for layer number 4. And with that, we'll probably just go ahead and move into our final layers and finish off the build. Alright guys, moving into our final layers here, we have layers 5 through 9. For these layers to start with, we're going to place down a skeleton skull on top of this stair right here and make sure it's facing dead on like that. Behind that, we're going to place down a smoker, and then we're going to place down an item frame to both sides of the smoker, followed by a block bed in the item frame, rotated to face sideways like so, and a birchwood sign on the sides of the smoker as well. After we have that done, we're going to then place down an end rod here, followed by a second and a third one up, and then followed by, lastly, a fourth one like so. So you have a total of 4 going up. On the third one, we're going to place down an end rod to both sides. We also want to go ahead and grab ourselves a piston, and we're going to place a piston up here on top of the smoker. An alternative to the piston here could be basically a full block of some sort, whichever you prefer, but basically a block that you can place down tripwire hooks on the sides of. After we have that all done, we're going to go ahead and then go to the top here, and we want to place down a oak wood trapdoor on top of this piston, and we're going to open it like so. And again, for Java players, we can right click that piston and get rid of that wood portion on top there to go ahead and make our kind of gun director, basically something like that. Then we're going to go and basically build a space off of the top end rod up here. So we're going to build just one block forward. We're going to place down a tripwire hook. Again, we'll use our debug stick here to rotate and connect up to our end rod like so. And then on the very top here, we're going to place down an iron bar. You can either place down an additional iron bar out to the sides, or you can go ahead and take your one iron bar, and you can go ahead and use your debug stick here to actually extend it out to the sides there to go ahead and make your radar up on top of the ship. But that right there is pretty much it for that. Really simple and straightforward, and that's going to complete your forward section. Then for our funnels, we're just going to place down an andesite wall on top of here. Then a zombie head, or rather a wither skeleton skull on top of that, and that's going to be for both funnels. There's also going to be a wither skeleton skull on top of this cobweb here, as well as 1 and 2 end rods going up on top of that end rod from the previous layer. 1 end rod to both sides here, and then 1 end rod going back, like so. We're going to go ahead and then grab ourselves a barrier block. These can be attained by going ahead and typing the command /give @p Minecraft :barrier. And this is your command right here. Press enter will give you a barrier block. You can also obtain them on Bedrock and Pocket Edition, so I've heard, or you can use structure blocks, basically just an invisible block that you can attach buttons to. What we're going to do here is we're going to place down a barrier block here underneath that end rod, and then to both sides of it we're going to place down a stone button. Our next set of barrier blocks is going to come off this end rod with 1, 2, 3 going forward. We're going to go and then go up from the wither skeleton skull, and then we're going to place down a row of 5 connecting up to the front. We'll place down 1, 2, 3 stone buttons, 1, 2, 3 on the sides here of these 3, and then 2 on the top of the last 2. So it's going to look something like that there for your rigging for the ship, and that right there will complete layers 5 through 9. And with that, that is going to wrap up my tutorial here for the USS Laffey Benson-Class destroyer. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this tutorial and are able to put it to good use. If you do use this build, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. This can be anything from a sound of the build, tweet to my channel, or this video if this does appear on social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for it, you're free to use it for a project you guys are working on. Overall, enjoy the build, have fun with it, and all that fun stuff. Again, a big special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible, and as always, feel free to check out my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions. And with that all out of the way, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been your 2 before, and I'll see you guys next time.